This is Ed Hitchens with energeticcity.ca, and this is the Community Roundup brought to you by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. We're joined here today by Clay Sutherland of the Peace Region Motorsports Association. He's here to talk about what the PRMA has in store for 2024. Clay, how you doing today?
Thanks for having me. Great.
All right. So I really appreciate you coming in. Okay, so you guys recently had your annual general meeting with the PRMA. What new initiatives were discussed? What exciting things do you have planned for 2024? Could you just delve into that a little bit?
So PRMA, we do local autocross and ice cross events and an ice attack event on Charlie Lake. And the autocross events take place in Taylor, BC, and we also throughout the Peace area. We have an event at Home Hardware every year on Canada Day, part of that. And we also rent a track down in Quesnel where we have an event down there as well, a 2-day event down there. We do that twice a year.
What times do you do it? You say do twice a year, so when?
So in usually June and August, we try to separate them by a month. We're still finalizing those dates at the moment, but yeah, we have those coming up.
Okay, well, it's big news for you guys because this is the first year you guys will be part of the High on Ice Festival. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, so talk to me about how that came about. Explain what the connection was to try to showcase your motocross, your auto racing skills on Charlie Lake in the middle of February as part of this celebration.
So for gearheads, usually wintertime is build time, but at the same time we want to be able to, race and have fun, and this is just the next step. So, build something, have fun all year round instead of just 6 months of, have fun in the summer, and we have literally 6 months of winter. So let's get out there and go after it.
Okay, so I actually grew up a big motorsports fan. I was talking to somebody earlier today. I actually had gone to the Molson Indy as a young child. But I have a cousin that was a massive fan of rally sport. And I knew guys like Carlos Sainz, Colin McRae, Sebastian Loeb, et cetera, et cetera. Some of my favorite video games as a kid were Colin McRae Rally 3 and Rally Sport Challenge, both 1 and 2. So what was the rally following, the autosport following like in the Fort St. John area?
Well, we've always had a very large car community here in Fort St. John. But there's always just that lag time in the middle of winter. So I've been wanting to do this.
You talk about lag time. Could you go into that a little bit?
Well, a lot of people just sort of hibernate, and we wait for summer to come and just get through winter, right? So this is more than just getting through winter. This is enjoying these winter months. We've got a flat surface at Charlie Lake that makes us bigger than any parking lot you could ever imagine to set up autocross. So your imagination.
And the lake freezes over. I've never actually heard of the concept that a lake actually will freeze over enough for people to actually drive on a lake to be doing this.
Yeah, we checked last weekend. We have a full 28.5 inches of ice where we're going to be having our event on the lake, and that is clear ice. It's plenty. Now, we've been fortunate. There's not a whole lot of snow out there, so it's literally your imagination can make it.
How big's the track on the lake?
It varies, if you're probably about 4 minutes in a vehicle. So going through we have everything from straightaways to corners, little like chicanes built into the track. Yeah.
Okay. So when did the PRMA begin? What was your connection to it? What kind of community support have you gotten when it started out as opposed to now where this is pretty popular?
So when I first moved to Fort St. John 20-some years ago, there was autocross that happened at the airport on an old Charlie taxiway. And that was every Wednesday. People just brought their cars, stock cars, didn't matter what it was, and we'd have fun with it every single Wednesday. And then that grew into, we need to go, what's the next step? And, we became a non-profit society, and we used to be 2 car clubs, one in Dawson Creek and one in Fort St. John, and we went together, and that's when Peace Region Motorsports Association was formed.
Okay, so what year was that around?
It was around 2000 that I started doing this,
Okay,
just as a participant.
okay.
And then in the last 10 years, it's been Peace Region Motorsports Association and grown from there.
Okay, so what kind of support have you got from the community
Tons of
with
support.
doing those things?
Tons of support. We're having, let's see, for this event particularly, like we have so much good sponsorship. United Rentals has been a huge help for us. We're getting prizes from Militia Custom, sorry. We're getting prizes from Napa, Fountain Tire, trying to think top of my head, Trailblazing Power, many really cool prizes. So we're fortunate to have the community support.
What kind of prizes?
And high performance as well.
What kind of prizes are you talking about?
Anything
here?
from Milwaukee tool sets, from light bars. So this is just going to be, part of the prizes for this High on Ice Festival event we're having on Charlie Lake.
Okay, so so people who do not know what IceX actually is, could you explain what that is, what that entails, and what kind of a challenge do you have racing on ice?
So IceX or Ice Cross is it's very similar to autocross. If you don't know what that is, it's a timed event in usually a small parking lot. And what it does, it challenges the skill of the driver rather than the power or speed of the car. That's more drag racing. There's still skill in both, but this is more, it's levels the playing field. So it's a lot of driver skill. You're going around corners, you're going through cones, and if you hit a cone, well, you lose points and you lose time off your total time. And yeah, same thing happens with this event. It's just like that, but on ice.
Okay, so how many classes will there be among cars? Because as I read it, it's unique that anybody can enter this event.
Yeah, anyone, if you have your...
I have a Subaru at home. I might have to come bring it out and give it a go.
Yeah.
Try the all-wheel drive, but no, it's almost like the Targa Newfoundland that like you can enter any kind of car. I've never heard of a race like that before, so give us more details about that.
So that's the really cool thing about this event is this brings out your daily drivers. You don't have to have really anything special. You gotta have a safe vehicle. You gotta have approved helmets, seat belts, and all the safety equipment that a regular vehicle would have. And it covers all the bases. And the great thing is we have a huge lake to make interesting courses from. So it tests the driver as well as pushing your car to a certain limit that you wouldn't be comfortable doing on a non-closed course like parking lots, which a lot of people do, right?
Yeah, well, that can be a problem. When you go in an empty parking lot and it's not safe, it's not zoned off, and
Yes.
that can lead to injuries. Has there ever been, and you said you've been doing this for 20 years, has there ever been a incident where a car has broken through the ice?
No. Like there's certain guidelines we got to follow
Okay, what guidelines?
If you look at the U.S. military, there's X amount of inches per weight of vehicle, and we make sure we got plenty before we even go on there. So there's 8 inches, 12 inches, 20 inches, and it shows how much weight you're allowed. And we like to see, with our area, it's easy to see 30 inches out there. So it's nothing to worry about.
Okay, so could you talk about different classes
Yes.
of races you'll be doing?
So we have race studs. We have just your regular street studs.
Okay, so studs would mean what exactly?
So you can protrude X amount for your regular street studs are just stuff you'd buy from the store, regular store, and that's your class. You have non-studded, and you have race studs, which are a little more aggressive. Not hugely aggressive, but just a little bit more.
Okay, so how many people are you expecting to be entering this event?
So our last event, we had 29 participants, and this being a 2-day event, we expect to have a lot more. And part of the High on Ice Festival is we're allowing 10 people per day to come try it that have never tried it and try it for free. So that's
And
part
try
of
it and try it for free.
yeah.
Okay, are helmets provided, or do you have to buy that?
We have
equipment
club
yourself?
helmets, but it's best if you have your own, bring it. But we do have club helmets as well.
Okay, all right. I think that's all the questions I have. Clay, thank you very much for the time. This has been Ed Hitchens with the Community Roundup, brought to you by Brad's Furniture and Appliances.